Pokemon Gold with every in-game trade was quick, so let's have a brutally long challenge. Today's the day that we figure out, would I be able to beat Pokemon Leaf Green with a team of only one Shuckle? He is a hardcore defensive bug and rock Pokemon, meant to stall opponents while you set things up like Stealth Rock and Toxic. But if he's the only Pokemon you use, then damage output is going to be a real problem, and we can't get Toxic until after the 6th gym. He also only learns one move with the same type attack bonus by TM, and it's Rock Tomb, so not very good. None by level up either. Like always, I'm writing the script as I go through with the challenge, so all of this part is being written before I've started. Everyone comment down below and guess if you think I can win or not. I think that I might be able to do it, but that grinding is going to be awful, and I'll need every power point up that I can get. Let's explain the rules. In combat, I can only use Shuckle. I'll need other Pokemon to use HMs, but I won't be allowed to use any of those Pokemon in battle. No glitches or exploits, no items in battle, only held items, and items outside of combat are allowed. Let's do this. So first I edit the game with the Universal Pokemon Randomizer to start with a Shuckle, name him Roman Reigns because he always kicks out, and check my stats. Docile nature, so neutral stat gains, immune to one-hit KOs, as if that would ever happen anyway, and 2 useless moves. Constrict, a 10 power normal move with a 10% chance to lower speed, and Withdraw, to boost my already insane defense. This is gonna be a long one. I want you to just watch our opening rival battle. He only hits me for 1 damage, but I'm pretty sure I'm only hitting him for 1 or 2 damage as well. This is the first fight of the game, and it takes me 2 full minutes to win the fight. That usually takes you, 20 seconds? Also, 69 experience. Nice. Would you look at that insane looking stat gain? Now, the first gym leader of the game resists normal type attacks, so that brings our Constrict to a power of 5. It doesn't have the same type attack bonus, their Pokemon are tanky, and my attack is low, so it's safe to say I'm doing 1 damage no matter what. I'm gonna have to grind up a bit to get enough health to survive. This is where the real pain comes in. I need to go heal between almost every fight because I get shipped down so much. On top of that, due to my horrible speed, I usually can't run away if I get caught in an extra fight, so fainting while grinding is gonna happen a lot. Early in the grind, I hit level 9 and learn Wrap. It's less accurate and only has 5 more power, but at least it deals 1/16 of the opponent's max health and damage every turn. It's incredibly weak, but it is a drastic boost to our damage output. It's also the only attacking move we learn by level up until Bide. And Bide's not even good for Shuckle, because Shuckle is a high defense, low health Pokemon, the opposite of what you want for Bide. I actually end up losing tons of money to fainting, since I usually fail to run from Weedles before I get poisoned, and due to my low health, I can never get back to the Poke Center before Poison finishes Roman off. Poison can actually make your Pokemon faint outside a battle in the older generations, by the way. At level 13, I decide to do the optional rival fight. I get sand attacked right off the bat 4 times, and that's terrifying since I already do so little damage when I hit. My current tactic is just wrapping the opponent early to start dealing passive damage and then constricting until Wrap gets released. Thanks to the sand attacks, the battle goes on for just over 6 whole minutes before I eventually faint. If sand attack messes us up this hard now, I am not looking forward to Nugget Bridge. That's not something to worry about now though, as I can't even get to Brock. There's a required bug trainer with a Weedle who keeps poisoning me on my way to him. Even now that we have Encore, I'm so slow that I can't make him string shot me, since it would be total luck. I may just end up forcing him to hit me more. Yes, we are so weak that we can't beat a level 9 Weedle yet. A few tries later, I beat the Weedle and move on to Pewter City. I got to level 16 and go for Brock. It was an insanely long fight that was going as well as it could for a long time. I only took 10 damage from Geodude thanks to being faster than him after enough constricts, so I could do Encore on him while he was defense curling, but Onix was my downfall. Bind does 2 damage to me every turn, and I just couldn't keep up. In the end, he hits a Rock Tomb for over 4 damage to finish me off. I have no idea why he wasn't doing this the whole time, considering it's super effective. I'll need to grind more. This grind is an especially long one. I'm trying to get to level 20 off level 2 to 5 Pokemon, but it's all I can do. The extra bit of health might be required to win on this one. I go after Brock again, and this time I'm faster than Geodude right off the bat, so it's easier to Encore him with his defense curl, getting him to waste more turns. In the end though, he still dealt 10 damage to me. Onix was an incredibly close call, but the extra health managed to pull out the victory for me. I'm so lucky that he didn't use Rock Tomb. I really have no idea why he didn't. Let me know in the comments if you think you know why. It must be some kind of AI quirk. Speaking of Rock Tomb, it's the only same type attack bonus move Shuckle can learn by TM in 3rd gen, so we use the TM we got from Brock to replace Withdraw. It's not very strong, but it's far stronger than our other moves, and it lowers the speed of whoever it hits, making Encore more useful. Later we could get Rock Slide from a tutor, but I need that speed down from Rock Tomb. Now that we have a real attacking move though, the route to Mount Moon is a cakewalk. Rock is good against Bug and Flying, both are very common types for this point in the game. Fighting other rock types is still going to be a chip battle though. I hit level 23 in Mount Moon and replace Constrict with Safeguard to protect myself against status afflictions. I figured this is going to be a must-have for a lot of bigger battles in the game, at least until we can get rest. Mount Moon was nothing too difficult, but on my way through I took the Helix Fossil. I knew that if I didn't say what I took, you'd all ask. Actually, now that I think about it, everyone asks anyway. Comments are good for the YouTube algorithm. We're still going with this. Next is the rival battle on Nugget Bridge, and this would probably be impossible if not for Rock Tomb. Pidgeotto likes opening with Sand Attack to ruin our accuracy, but it only takes 2 Rock Tombs to take him out. Next is Charmander, and his Metal Claw hits for 5 damage. That is actually a lot for us, believe it or not. More annoyingly though, he growls at us, lowering our attack. We crit with Rock Tomb and finish him off though. Next is Abra, and he can't fight back, so I just spam Rap until he faints to save on Rock Tombs. It takes way too long. Last is Rattata, so I Rap him early and get some passive damage going, then spam Rock Tomb, giving us a shockingly easy victory. You'll notice in this video I'm not doing my usual play-by-play commentary. Since battles tend to be insanely long due to my high defense and low attack, this video would be like 2 hours long if I did the blow-by-blow on every major fight. So I hope you guys are cool with this recap style. Nugget Bridge was nothing special, so we're onto the water gym, but this obviously just is not happening yet. Between us having very few power points, water being one of our weaknesses, and her Pokemon using Harden and Recover, we stand no chance at this level. I move on to the next route instead to fight more trainers. I end up hunting down every last trainer that I can find to get as much experience as possible. Between how brutal Misty is, and with how soon I'll have to fight Hikers and Rock Tunnel, I need every level that I can get. During the grind I hit level 37 and learn Rest, our last level up move. I replace Safeguard since Rest removes status afflictions anyway. One last battle before we get back to deal with Misty, and we've got our rival on the SSN. He opens with Pidgeotto, so I go for Rock Tomb. I'm lucky, and it only sand attacks me once before I take it out. Next is Charmeleon. He smoke screens me, so my accuracy is pretty bad, and Rock Tomb misses. His Metal Claw is super effective, but still pretty weak, so 2 Rock Tombs finish it. Kadabra is next, and it disables Rock Tomb, so I get Rap going. I went for Encore to make him repeat Disable, but he's faster, so I ended up making him repeat Kinesis, destroying my accuracy. It took forever, but I managed to take him out, mostly with Rap. Last is Raticate, and it can only do 1 damage, but his Tail Whip is lowering my defense. I rest partway through to heal, and interestingly enough, Rap is still active while I'm asleep. That's pretty useful. I was worried I'd run out of power points from all the missing, but I got pretty lucky and actually managed to hit Rap enough times to win. Now, that gets me the Cut HM, but I can't actually use Cut to progress until I have Misty's Cascade badge, so it's time to fight her again. We're 7 levels higher this time, but the strategy is pretty much the same. Rap for passive damage, Rock Tomb is my main attack. Neither move has amazing accuracy, so luck is very much a factor, and both of our Pokemon use Water Pulse, a move that can cause confusion. Staryu goes down early, and I move on to Starmie. Starmie doesn't have Harden, but does still have Recover, so this could be bad. Even with my insane special defense, Water Pulse actually does decent damage to me. She uses a Super Potion as her health gets low, but I use Rest, so I'm alright. Thanks to my Rock Tombs, I'm faster than her, so unless I get crit out of nowhere, or get messed up from confusion, I should be pretty safe. Eventually, I use Encore to force her into using Recover over and over, trying to get her to run out of power points for it while I heal. Eventually, through bad confusion luck though, I faint. My god, this fight is horrible. Still better than when I did it with Magikarp though. There's no other strategy I can really do at this point, so I just keep trying and hoping for better luck. Every failed attempt is about 7 to 9 minutes, so this is brutally slow. Eventually, many tries later, I just get insanely lucky on Starmie and she doesn't heal. I thought that fight was for sure gonna be a failure since Staryu was healing so much, but hey, I'll take what I can get. I tackle Rock Tunnel next so I can put off doing that stupid trash can puzzle in Sarge's gym. It's rough because I need to run back and restore my power points between almost every trainer fight. Some of these fights are so brutal that I can completely run out of power points and use Struggle, usually in a losing effort. After Rock Tunnel, the world is pretty open though, so I go around and fight every last trainer I can find, getting all the way to level 47. Now it's time for a bit of a boss rush. I finally decide to go after Lieutenant Surge. Sonic Boom is a problem since it always does 20 damage regardless of my defense, but at this level, even with my horrible attack, I can do some decent damage with Rock Tomb. It helps a lot that I gathered a bunch of power point ups so I can get more Rock Tomb uses, since I do miss so much. Double Team is awful, but I got pretty lucky and took out his team before they could dodge too much. Next is Giovanni in the Rocket Hideout. He's a real problem because 2 of his 3 Pokemon are Rock type, so it takes tons of power points to fight him. It doesn't help that Onix keeps using Harden. Harden was great at the start of the game when I could only do 1 damage anyway, but now it just means that I'll have to use more and more Rock Tombs, and I only have 16 to go around by this point. That's the max that the power points can go on Rock Tomb, by the way. It doesn't go any higher. I found a decent tactic to maximize my damage is to get Wrap going for the passive damage, then intentionally waste time on things like Encore and Rest, just to save on power points. Wrap's passive damage doesn't extend in any way if you spam the move, so it's in my best interest to only use Wrap when the passive effect has already worn off. Eventually, Onix goes down and Kangaskhan is out, although my power points are getting low. She can't Harden, but she can Tail Whip me, so that could be cause for concern. She eventually goes down, but Rhyhorn is out last, and he keeps the Tail Whips up. Worst case scenario is I have to resort to using Struggle with my almost non-existent attack stat. I ran out of Rock Tombs, but Giovanni doesn't use any potions in this fight, so thankfully, it never came to the point of using Struggle. Last for this little boss rush is our rival battle at the Pokemon Tower. It was going great for a while, insanely bad missing luck aside, and I take him out easily until Execute. Hypnosis is an issue, but Leech Seed is a bigger issue. If he hits it, then I can't win without lucky crits. It heals him a lot, and I can hardly hurt him. I had to just try more. Many attempts later, and I get to one where he just keeps using Confusion and Hypnosis rather than Leech Seed. I have no idea why, but I'm not gonna pretend like I understand the weird parts of Gen 3 AI. It's mostly good, but sometimes it's just weird. He goes down to enough Rock Tombs and Kadabra slowly goes down to Wrap. Gyarados has Intimidate, so I've lost some of my already super low attack, but at least he's part flying, so Rock Tomb is super effective, so he isn't too hard. I'm just happy that I didn't have to grind again. Just because I didn't need to grind for that doesn't mean that I don't still need experience though, so as always I fight every trainer I can find on my way to getting the Pokeflute. I also catch 30 Pokemon so that I can get the Item Finder, a required item for the leftovers. I've seen a lot of people say just press A where the leftovers would be, but it doesn't work that way. See, I'm pressing A, nothing happens. Then you stand on it and you use the item finder, and you just automatically pick it up. Leftovers aren't a normal hidden item, it's a secret that requires an item finder. Anyway, leftovers give me 1/16 of my health back every single turn while it's held. That's not much since we have really low base health, but considering we hardly get hurt anyway, that's not bad. Also, just a reminder in case you skipped the rules at the start, we're allowed to use held items. It's right there on screen. Believe me, tons of people skip the rules. It's crazy, I got called a cheat on these videos like literally every day because they don't read the rules. Anyway, I skip past Silph Co and do Koga's Poison Gym first. His opening coughing gets 2 smoke screens, lowering my already bad accuracy before hardly hurting me with the self-destruct. Next is Muck, who keeps using Minimize. Then Acid Armor to raise his defense. Okay, this fight sucks already. This is the single longest fight I've had with one individual Pokemon in my entire history of doing Pokemon challenges. What is this, like challenge 12? It took so long that we ended up both using Struggle on each other, mostly missing, for entire minutes. Eventually, Muck went down, but the next coughing just hit me with Toxic, and since it does more and more damage as time goes on, there's no possible way that I could win once that happens. That's a shame because I came here to get the Toxic TM. I'll have to come back later when I'm a higher level, I guess. I go back to fighting every trainer I can, this time in Silph Co. Roman's brutally low attack is really causing issues now that higher health Pokemon are common. A while later and I realized that I never did Erica's Grass Gym. She doesn't pose any real threat, it's just a really slow battle. We take her out without any real trouble. So we can't really progress until we can either beat our rival or Koga, and we're too weak for either, so I have to grind a bit. You know, real quick while I grind, a little bit of a public service announcement. I know a lot of you guys are new to the channel, so I'm not gonna be too hard on you, but I'm Mah-Dry-Bread, not my dry bread, not Mah-Dry beard, it's Mah-Dry-Bread. People usually call me Mah-Dry or MDB. I've seen tons of confusion about that recently, and although I've said that in roughly 5,000 of my videos, and yes, somehow I've made over 5,000 videos, I know that most of you don't watch the Let's Play stuff, since that's just a huge time commitment, so I thought I'd let you know that here. Oh, also, during the grind, I saved and decided to try out my hidden power to see what type it was. I got Dark type, so mildly useful, but I decided to restart before the save and just keep Wrap for now. That might be good for Agatha, though. Agatha's the one that I think I might not be able to beat. A while later and we hit level 69, nice, and let's look at our stats. I just always find it funny to look at how ridiculously lopsided Roman's stats are. Let's take a crack at the rival in Silph Co. First is Pidgeot, so I naturally Rock Tomb it with no issue. Next is Charizard, who's double weak to Rock, so he isn't hard, although he smokescreens me and hits Scary Face, so my speed and accuracy are both down. Execute is next, and for whatever reason, even though Bulbapedia says he still has Leech Seed, he just doesn't use it. It's not like he doesn't have a chance. Between me missing and my paralysis, I take forever to take him out, but he just never uses Leech Seed. Next is Alakazam, but his only attacking move is Future Sight, so he isn't really a threat. His Reflect stalls me quite a bit, and he isn't really doing damage, so I don't get an easy chance to use Recover to remove paralysis, since I need to be hurt to use it, and leftovers keep maxing out my health. Eventually though, I manage to use Rest and keep using Wrap until he goes down. Much like how I don't know why Execute didn't use Leech Seed, I have no idea why Alakazam didn't just use Recover. Last is Gyarados, and as always, it cuts my attack. It has Dragon Rage, so I need to be careful, as it always does 40 damage regardless of my crazy defense. I end up winning, but it was very close. Giovanni is next, and although the battle is easy and we're not really in any danger at this point, I'm sure you can tell from this footage, it's going a little bit faster than usual. That's because this took me 14 entire minutes just for this one Pokemon battle. Giovanni stalled me out pretty hard. Psychic Gym is next. Sabrina really didn't stand a chance. Her Pokemon all have terrible physical defense, so even with my awful attack, I was able to overpower her pretty easily with Rock Tomb. I had to use Encore a little bit to shut down the recovery spam, but it wasn't too bad. We finally have to fight Koga. I'm very careful to use Encore to try and reduce the chance of getting hit with Smokescreen, but I can't stop Acid Armor from beefing up Muck's defense or Minimize from increasing his evasion, as he didn't attack early enough for me to loop him into it with Encore. He didn't get to Minimize more than once though, so that already puts me in a better place than my last attempt. Did you know that Koga has 2 Hyper Potions? Yeah, this battle was awful. Eventually his next coughing is out, but of course he just starts smoke screening me, because I can't have a single fight without my accuracy being messed up. Thankfully, he self-destructed before too long, so his last wheezing is out. I'm nearly out of power points by now, so this is rough. Plus, he has smoke screen, so every member of Koga's team has something that can affect accuracy in some way. Plus, Toxic is a terrifying move. In spite of my awful accuracy at this point, I have astonishingly good luck hitting Rock Tomb for once. It's not enough to take him out before I run out though, so I have to spam Rest until I run out of power points. Struggle's accuracy is lowered by Smokescreen though, so I still miss plenty, but 2 struggles later and I finally win this never-ending battle. Yes, this battle was even longer than the Giovanni one. With that victory, I finally get the TM for Toxic and replace Encore. Encore was good, but Toxic is the perfect move for Shuckle, since I can outlast anything. I could use this to beat just about anything that's not Poison or Steel type. I also replace Wrap with our Dark type hidden power so I can deal with Agatha's Poison type ghosts later in the game. Next is Blaine the Fire Gym Leader. Now that I have Toxic for offense and Rest for removing status afflictions and healing, I can pretty much stall out most Pokemon that we're gonna run into. So although it's a very slow strategy, it's an incredibly effective one. Blaine didn't stand a chance, but Ground Gym Leader Giovanni is a different story. I decided to skip the Sevi Islands and go right for Giovanni. His rock types are no longer such a terrifying brick wall for us to overcome thanks to Toxic. but he has both a Nidoqueen and a Nidoking. They can't be poisoned. Once again, it's a really long fight, but not a particularly dangerous one. By Nidoking, we have to use Struggle, but he had already hurt himself by then, so I wasn't really too concerned. That was our last badge, so we have one last rival fight before the Elite Four. Pidgeot is out, and I don't even bother with Toxic at first, but he uses Feather Dance to ruin my already awful attack, so I have to poison him. Thanks to that, my hopes of speeding up Pidgeot and Charizard with Rock Tomb are dashed across the aforementioned rocks, so I have to slowly poison and stall his team. He has no poison types or steel types, so the strategy works fine, but what really surprised me was just how much damage his Charizard's Flamethrower was doing. I have almost 400 special defense, so the fact that he still does a decent chunk of damage is insane to me. Last is the Elite Four, but honestly, as strong as my tactic is, I think I'll need to be a higher level before I can beat Agatha, so I have to grind a bit more. Well, I grind, if you'll allow me. If you're watching this on the day that it came out, my 27th birthday is tomorrow. For about 8 years now, I've done a stream on almost every birthday over on Twitch TV. So if you want to swing by, I'll have a link to my Twitch TV page in the description. If you're watching this in the future, the whole thing will be uploaded to YouTube after. Now, I don't want you to feel obligated to subscribe on Twitch just because it's my birthday, that costs you money. If you want to do something nice for free though, do me a favor and retweet my Twitter video in the description and the pinned comment. It's my bid to get Twitter verified, one of my life goals for before I turn 28. A video pitch like this worked for Boundary Break, so let's see if we can make it work for me. Thanks for your support. Let's finish this grind and take on the final challenge. After a ton of grinding and topping it off with a handful of rare candies, we finally hit level 100. Here's how our stats look. Our attack is not too bad. I mean, it's awful for level 100, but for Shuckle, I'll take what I can get. Defense and special defense are just ridiculous, and I'm happy that I got nearly 200 health. I'm sure if I EV trained properly, I'd be better, but my options before Brock were pretty limited. I also used power point-ups from around the map and from Meowth's pickup. It wasn't enough to max out hidden power, and I haven't even boosted rest, but hopefully it's enough. Now's your last chance to make your guesses on if I'll complete this challenge or not. Comment down below and let me know. Let's do this. First is Ice Trainer Lorelei. She isn't so bad since we have type advantage on our whole team. Everything is either Ice, Psychic, or both, and we have Rock and Dark. I still have to use Toxic plenty, but she never really has me that worried. Simple battle, although I probably had the worst critical hit, hitting Silph in confusion, and missing luck I've ever had in a Pokemon battle. Next is Bruno, the Fighting and Rock Trainer. My moves are resisted by his whole team, so I have to rely on Toxic. Unfortunately, the Elite Four all use full restores, and because that removes poison, I then have to reapply them to beat them, so that really slows down the battles. He isn't really that dangerous until Machamp. Between all the defense loss from Onix using Screech and Machamp using Bulk Up, Cross Chop does insane damage. Even with my 500 defense, after all those modifiers, he's able to two-shot me on some of my runs. On this run though, I had much more defense by the time I got to Machamp, and he never crit me. I nearly ran out of power points thanks to his full restores delaying the battle so much, but eventually I won. I max ether hidden power, use 2 ethers on Rock Tomb, and move on to Agatha. I predict that she'd be brutal, and I was right, this one's insane. I have 2 of the 4 only moves that can hit most of her team that Shuckle can learn, and I still do so little damage. I could learn Earthquake for Arbok, but it wouldn't hit our other Pokemon due to Levitate. Also, there's no way that I'd have enough Rock Tombs for the entire rest of her team. Arbok likes to spam Screech and super effective Iron Tail, so it actually hits really hard. Her whole team is Poison type, so Toxic doesn't work. On some runs, I even make it to the final Gengar, but that's only if I have good luck on her misses with things like Iron Tail and Hypnosis. Her second from last Pokemon is a Haunter who often uses Curse, and that nearly always results in fainting fast. After a ridiculous amount of attempts, I get just the right amount of critical hits and enemy missing luck to win. I spent almost half the day replaying that fight until it finally went my way. That was awful. I use an elixir and move on to Dragon Trainer Lance. He is far harder than I expected, mostly because I was afraid of running out of power points since I only had 2 ethers left. The bulk of his team was slow to fight, but not difficult, but the problem I didn't see coming was his last 2 Dragonairs. They have Shed Skin, so they have a 30% chance of removing their status afflictions each turn. So in this case, my Toxic Poison. It took a very long time and a lot of power points, but I did take him out. I ether Toxic and Rock Tomb, then move on to the final battle with our rival. Each member of his team has their own trait that makes this battle especially hard with so few power points. Pidgeot lowers my attack a ton with Feather Dance, so I can't take him out quickly with Rock Tomb. Then Gyarados can lower it even more with Intimidate. Often, I'm using moves not because I want to, but because I can't do nothing. Technically, I could use Pokeballs or a Pokeflute to pass turns, but that would be using the item menu in battle, and I don't want to break the rules that I started with. By the end, because of his 4 full restores and Toxic not having 100 accuracy, I ended up running out of power points before Charizard, so I never got to use Toxic on him, dooming me. I'm not ready to give up the challenge yet though, so I start walking around the world gathering a handful of Max Ethers and Max Elixirs so that I can fully restore my power points between each Elite Four member. Yes, that means I'm gonna have to do the Agatha fight again, and I'm dreading it. Let's do a lightning round since you already know how all this goes. Lorelei was easy, Bruno took a few tries, Agatha took a few hours. This time I had animations turned off to speed it up, so that helps. Lastly, Lance was shockingly easy this time. I beat him first try thanks to better Shed skin luck. Finally, we're back to the final battle with full power points. First of all, a lot of attempts die thanks to Pidgeot using Sand Attack. If Toxic misses too much, then I flat out can't win. He has 6 Pokemon and 4 full restores, so chances are that I'll need to hit Toxic 10 times. Toxic can miss though, so I can't miss more than 6 times and still have any chance of winning. It's a long and brutal fight thanks to just how long everything takes to take out, but at least I'm mostly at the mercy of the first Pokemon rather than something later. Eventually, on a bad accuracy due to Sand Attack run, I managed to hit Toxic on the last Pokemon, his Charizard, with my very last power point that I had when he had already used all of his full restores. With that and a few more turns, I managed to beat the game. I feel bad rating this because I feel like it's not as exciting not having the blow-by-blow recap, but that's my own fault for accepting the Shuckle challenge, I guess. These fights aren't exciting, they're just brutally slow. Much like the Magikarp challenge, it's about endurance more than anything else. I hope you enjoyed though. The next challenge is shaping up to be a really interesting one. Next Saturday, I'll be doing Pokemon Black with a team of only first form bug Pokemon. Subscribe, ring the bell, stay tuned. If you want to see me do more challenges like this, please let me know in the comments or on Twitter. I can always use more ideas from you guys on what I should do next. Also, check out the playlist in the description to watch all of the Pokemon challenges that I've already uploaded. If you want to see more Pokemon stuff from me, my friend Whatageek and I are doing a black and white randomizer over on his channel. Also, come to my Twitch streams and tell me that the video sent you. It's always cool to hear how you found the channel. Thank you everybody so much for watching, and until next time, have a nice day.